Hello, everybody. I think we're going now. So, hey, everybody. All right, we're here. We're going to talk about this thing. So now, today it comes out. We now know who it is. Joseph Ethan. I've done a video about this guy before. So immediately when I saw who it was, I was just like, oh, brother. you know. So, this guy back in early 2017, I think it was. Well, I did a video and I left a link for it down below. And he claimed that Stephen had confessed to him. And he wrote this letter that he sent around to all the media outlets. And it eventually got picked up by one of them. And it was him recounting a story he says that Stephen told him. I did a video, and like I said, in the video I talk about, some of my issues with it. And really the issues I had with that are continue in this new thing, So, those of you who don't know, Kathleen Zellner tweeted today pictures of the written letter so everybody could read it. So she posted the pictures of it. So he tells a story. It's a wild story, to be honest. Sorry, something funny was just said in chat. Yeah, this guy has like zero credibility. And the only thing that still makes me think maybe this guy, maybe, I don't know, but maybe, right? I mean, even Kathleen Zellner acknowledges that there are certain leads from it that are being investigated. She also said flat out that there were a great many that were uncorroborated and were immediately, tossed aside, but that some other points, according to her wording, there's a couple of other things that are being looked into, and she said, and that's the way good investigators operate. So we'll see what comes from this, but I encourage anybody to watch the video I did about it previously, after we're done here and stuff, to watch the video that I previously did about this guy when he said Stephen had confessed to him, and then just go to Kathleen Zellner's tweet and take a look at the letter. First thing is, the guy thinks he's going to collect the $100,000. He thinks that he's going to be able to collect the money. So that shows that's his motivation for wanting to. Well, I'll put it this way. It shows as a motivation for him to be doing what he's doing right now. He's very preoccupied with the money. When you read this letter, he is very preoccupied with the money. So, at one point in it, he writes off in a margin, like this little note in a margin saying, this is a partnership or something. I'll know you're serious if you deposit $2,000 into my canteen, or whatever, and then I'll talk to you, or whatever. Basically, it's like he's like trying to do some kind of cash grab. And I would have to say it's like he doesn't even know who Zellner is, because if he thinks that she's not gonna check out his story, he's ridiculous and lame. And if he thinks that anybody's gonna give him any money until anything's corroborated, he's living in a dream world. Yeah, absolutely. This guy, he's just not credible. He's just. I was very, very disappointed to find out it was Joseph Ethan. I'll put it that way. Because like I said, I did a video about this guy before. So, hey Rubber Ducky, hey Debby Salmon, Let's see. Is the Seabrook out there somewhere? Where is he? Oh, JB, what's up, buddy? Hey, good to see you. Yeah, we missed you, buddy. We hope you're gonna have a little more free time sometime in the future. Casey said she need cooperation. Basically, dude needs to come forward, and she might play ball. I don't see her going on for the 2K on the letter. I don't either. I don't see her giving this guy a red cent until she has something tangible or something, substantial that she can use. You know what I mean? It's like, so this guy, I think this guy's living in a fool's paradise. But, for him, from prison, he's taking a stab at it, basically. I mean, what does he have to lose? Right? So, he's taking a stab at it. That's basically the way I see it. Well, you're right, Sharon. And that's the one thing about this guy that trips me out. And if you guys watch my original video that I did about this, can I read the letter, I suppose? I can try. I don't know. I hope this doesn't sound too terrible because this guy's handwriting's not all that great. But yeah, this confession is laughable. Is things that he's saying. I mean, he's talking about popping pills and guzzling brandy. I mean, honestly, the fact that he would have those two things in his car actually doesn't shock me in Wisconsin, particularly with the brandy, because the Wisconsinites love their alcohol. I mean, like seriously, like they're the drunkest state in the union. Like, serious. Anyway, so he's like the whole time talking about how he's taking pills and swigging brandy and everything to try to calm his nerves, and tries to say it was an accident. And I mean, he claims that it's crazy. I'll read the letter though, but it's wild and But like I was gonna say, I will read it in a second. But like I was gonna say is, when I was going through this guy's story that he offered before, when he was talking about Stephen had confessed to him, and he was telling this story, right? And the funny thing about that story, back then, when you watch my video, you'll hear me say it during the video, that the story that he was telling seemed like very kind of uniquely kind of tailored to try to help the state clean up some of the things that were happening in the case. Like, for instance, to try to help people stop questioning the key and where it came from, hopefully, and some other issues because of the way this guy wove the story. He tried to explain how the key got there and how Stephen told him, and so it looked like this clear ploy to try to consolidate and reinforce some of the weak parts of the state's story. But it was just it was weird. It was just wild and weird and kind of strange for me back then. And now here's this whole bit, and he's in this letter, and he's constantly talking about how he was working with the state, and he's got all the stuff on the state, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, after the first letter he wrote, and seeing how that thing was kind of uniquely tailored in a sense to seemingly help the state, it got me wondering if maybe he had connections with the state. Was he, maybe before he killed his wife, and by the way, that's why he's in prison, folks, he killed his wife. Before he killed his wife, well, I don't know. That's what I was trying to say there. But anyways, we'll go through this thing, and I'll read it, and you'll see this guy's This guy is. I mean, you're gonna honestly think some parts of it are ridiculous because they seem ridiculous especially when you hear him like talking about popping pills and drinking brandy in the middle of doing all this thing on someone else's property. Like, yeah, I'll read it and you guys can judge for yourself, and we can talk about it a little bit. Kratzonian, who said that? Sapricot. Let's see, JB. I'll call you this weekend. All right, dude, let's do it. Let's see when you're gonna have some free time, buddy. It's more than off. Linda parts of it, like he wants counsel. Well, yeah. Uniquely Kratzonian. Yeah, I love that. That's a good phrase. Good word. I only read the first 2 pages. Alright, that's cool. I'll read it in just a second. Let me just... it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It's true. It certainly doesn't make sense because he's trying to claim that he was there this whole time. From 2:30 when she got there, basically, he pulled up next to her car and hit her, he says. And she fell and her head hit a rock, and that's how she died, he says. But even though even though she was dead, he ended up going into Steven's trailer because nobody was there. When we all know that isn't true, because Steven was talking on the phone with Jody, and we've all heard it, right? So this guy's confession is gonna probably fizzle out into nothing. That's the odds. To be honest. So, all right. That's what I think KZ is confessing, how the original letter came about. Yeah, it's just he seems like he may have connections, and that's what I was gonna say, is that maybe back then, before he killed his wife and all that, is that maybe he was a CI, a confidential informant for somebody in maybe one of the sheriff's departments here, Calumet or Manitowoc, possibly. You know what I mean? And so maybe he was a CI before he killed his wife. And so maybe he does have some connection to somebody in law enforcement. I don't know. That's complete speculation, but it always struck me as odd what he seemed to know. And how he structured the story that he said Steven told, and it was just, for me, to me, very interesting. I have a huge theory that this letter and why Zoner posted it, but it's too much to type out. What's up, Jerome? He hit his wife in the head with an... Okay, the guy that hit his head and the wife with an axe, that's Andres Martinez. And I'm seeing a lot of this today, by the way, so I want to clear this up. In fact, somebody sent me a link thinking they were sending me information about Joseph Ethan, but they actually sent me information about Andres Martinez. Now, Andres Martinez is an interesting fellow. He's been looked at thoroughly at one point. But I know there's a new crowd out there that are just discovering him, and so I encourage everybody to go out and get your fill checking him out. But Andres Martinez is not the guy who's confessing here. The guy who's confessing here is Joseph Ethan. Okay, just to make that clear. But yes, Andres Martinez is a bad dude, and yes, he did take an axe to his wife. Are criminals not banned from benefiting financially from a crime? I believe he is. I believe he's barking up. I believe he's, I totally believe that dog won't hunt, I guess is what I'm saying. And that may be even more confusing to you. But I basically believe there's no real way he could collect this money. To me, it would seem there's going to be safeguards in place to prevent inmates from doing exactly what this guy's trying to do. Sounds to me like this guy may have info. There was blood on the... Yeah, he says there was blood on the rocks, but he picked up the rocks and he took the rocks with him. Why those? Who knows? He could have just thrown them in the fire and they would have burned and they would have never gotten any DNA or anything off of them. But he says he put them in a bucket and he took them with him when he left. Sharon Sunshine, you're thinking of the German. I forget his name. Anyway, the German. A sapper cop, I'm actually not sure what his sentence is. Does anybody here know? Fenn, do you happen to know? I think it is life without parole. Because he killed his wife. I mean, that's pretty cold-blooded. Turnover in chat. So many new faces. There are some new faces around. Yeah. Let's see. Tracy would know. Yeah. Could you ask her real quick, Fenn? And come back and let us know? Thanks. Please read the letter so we can understand why you have doubts. Okay. Let's read the letter now. Thanks, Fenn. All right. To attorney Kathleen Zellner, I am making a claim to your reward offer for the information in the Stephen Avery case. Number one, it's not her reward. She only publicized it, but okay. I've been trying to contact you by phone and through a friend. Family member, and a family member, but seem to get nowhere. I'm fully aware that you know who I am. But there's a lot to all of this than what you know. I will explain all because I'm ready to jump ship with the state. So he's saying he's ready to jump ship with the state. Like, implying that he has ties. So, that's what he's implying. This is all just what he's saying, of course. I was used by them, but I'm ready to move forward with all I know. But for your reward offer, and I will need to tell you all that happened, which is, on October 31st, 2005, I was on my way home, back from Sheboygan, and I was coming into Manitowoc. I went out to the Avery salvage yard to see if they had a cover lens for my front passenger side direction light, because my wife hit a car just weeks earlier. Casually referencing his wife there. And I needed to replace my back window on my 1996 Chevy Tahoe. So when I went there, I was told to go out in the yard and talk to a person named Earl or something like that. So I drove up to some outbuildings and didn't find this person. I seen a vehicle parked up by a trailer house, so I pulled up next to the vehicle on the passenger side of it. A lady stepped out in front of my vehicle and I hit her. She fell to the ground and hit her head on a large rock. I got out to check on her, but she was unconscious and her head was starting to bleed on her right temple side, where she hit the rock. I took off my hooded sweatshirt and I placed it under her head. I ran up to the trailer home, but no one was home. So he's saying he ran up to... I mean, even if he ran up to the Yondas, we know Bobby Dassey's there. Right? So he's claiming he ran up to one of the trailers and nobody was home. I then placed the lady in the back cargo area of her RAV4 Toyota to take her to the hospital, but she was dead already from her head injury. I then panicked and was scared. I took about 6 different kinds of pills that I had with me and a couple of large gulps of brandy that I had with me as well. I then went back up to the trailer house and went inside because the front door was unlocked. I looked around and seen the name of a bunch of mail, and the name was Stephen Avery on everything I seen. I looked around his trailer. I seen a .22 rifle. So I took it off of the gun rack. Then in the kitchen, I seen a couple of bloody Band-Aids and a tissue. So I placed it inside of a plastic baggie. I took that and the gun with some bullets with me. I moved my Tahoe to the side of the garage. I went to go move the RAV. I seen a cargo pass, so I waited a moment until it left. I then put on my gloves and took a plastic bucket I had. I put the rock and some smaller rocks that had blood on them inside the bucket. Put that in the RAV with the gun and drove her to the garage. I backed up to the overhead door and opened it up. Pulled the lady out of her vehicle. I think he means lady. Laid her down on the floor with cardboard and plastic. Trying to explain why there is no trace of this happening on the garage floor. So it's once again, this is once again becoming like this story he told about Steve. Anyway, okay, before we get to that. With cardboard and plastic. I took the gun and I shot her 3 times. I then put her back in the cargo area of her RAV and drove over to the pit behind the garage. I pulled her out, covered her up with debris. I then took the RAV and moved it by some junk cars. I took the bloody Band-Aid and smeared a little blood off of it on the console area. Then I took out a handbag that had some electronic items, cell phone, camera, and other stuff in it. I took the keys with me. I removed the plate, disconnected the battery, and took the Band-Aid and put blood from it on the hood latch. Seriously. It wasn't blood DNA though. It didn't. Anyways, okay, that's funny. Alright. I then covered the RAV with debris that was around it. Light brush, branches, plywood, a hood from another vehicle. I then took the bag with me. I went back to the garage, got the rifle, placed the bag in a burn barrel, and put the gun back inside in the trailer, home of Stephen Avery. I took the RAV key off the ring and tossed it between the wall, bookcase, so he's talking about the cabinet, bed in the bedroom, and then left the home. So remember Colburn's story about how it was cleverly hidden in the cabinet, but this guy's saying he just threw it in between the cabinets, anyway. Tossed it between the bookcases, in the bed, in the bedroom. I then left the home and got into my Tahoe to leave, but kids got home. So I moved my Tahoe back by the junk cars to wait it out until later that evening. Finally, it was starting to get darker outside. So I went back to the garage and got a gas can and went back to the pit, and I started all the debris on fire. I poured oil on it as well. As it was burning, I was drinking my brandy and popping more pills to help calm me down. That's the second mention of brandy and pills as he's doing this. To help calm me down. I then went back to my Tahoe where I was hiding out at. Some teenage kid came over to the fire and was there for about 20 minutes or so. then left. I walked for about an hour later and went back to the fire. I poured more gas on it around 3 to 3:30. The fire was going down. I used a shovel to move stuff around and to bust up some bones. I then went to the burn barrel and started a fire to burn the bag, the cell phone camera, and a computer thing. Some folders, papers I left for back home. Oh, okay. Some folders and papers. I left for back home to Menifee, Manitowoc, or what is it? No, I'm not sure what that is. Around 4 to 4:30 a.m. I took the shovel and bucket with rocks with me when I left. That's what happened, but there's a lot more to the cover-up for many years by many people and more. For your reward offer, I will give you the information, but I want a complete negotiation for amounts to protect me from civil action, criminal fines, attorney fees, etc. I will go over with you. I will give up all those involved in this. Okay, so that's where he's talking about being in cohorts with agents of the state. When we can reach a proper agreement on the full amount, your offer of $100,000 is a spit in the bucket for what is all at stake. If you're fully serious to get your client Stephen Avery out, you're going to need my help. Let's see. Something I haven't spoke there to anyone yet. If you're serious as I am, place $2,000 down on my prison inmate account. Set up a meeting with me. If you have a side counsel to represent me, that would be great. I've been having a hard time getting a counsel to protect me from all of this. After we get this set up, you will get all this and more in a deposition under oath. After that, I want $13,000 to start the process of me to chill out in my cell and wait. If there's any court hearings for me or Stephen, I want payments towards the rest of the money until you get Stephen a new trial or released after all is said and done. I want $250,000 over your $100,000. Whoops. Let's see. A list of attorney fines. And he's saying it's $350,000 total that he wants in the end. So money is very much on his mind, which is taking away from his credibility. Over in the side caption here, it says ASAP. By the end of September 2019, then I know you're serious, as I am. And that's talking about the $2,000 on his books. Because he puts that little note right where that is, you know. So, hey Brandon, what's up, buddy? Alright, let's see. Any more pages? Final page here. And this one starts out with a bang. Keep your panties and shirt on or down. Keep your panties down and your shirt down. Yeah, this guy, he's something else. So, because I'm not out to screw you. Right. This is a deal relationship between you and me. You'll win when I give all up, and the full cover-up story that took place, and how the state and others used me to get to Steve. I'm done with all of that. I'm jumping ship to look out for myself and my children, grandchildren. Your I'm not sure what word that is. I'm already set, or I'm already got. It's up to you. It's up to you for the next move. Okay, yeah. Set up a call with me, or take my phone call on the weekend, Saturday afternoon or evening. Joseph Evans, and all that sort of stuff. So, that's it. That's the letter. You mean I can stop reading at the end? Oh. Thanks. We'll have to add that to Captain Obvious's cadre. Does it say let's do lunch? That's funny. It should. Practically should. So, like I said, after we're done here, I encourage everybody to go have a look at the other video I did about this guy when he was trying to claim that Stephen had confessed to him. So I think it's interesting this guy's claiming that he has ties to the state. But I also find it interesting that he just seems to have, like, he seems to have some fascination with Stephen, Brendan, Teresa. You know what I mean? Like this case. Because first he was coming out offering that Stephen had confessed to him. Now he's coming out confessing to it himself. So it's like, what is his interest in why? What got this guy? What about this case drew this guy's eye? Is he actually involved somehow? I don't know. It's weird. Not saying he is, and I'm saying that this story that he told here is a wreck. You know, and so that's going to bring me to talk about this point. And a lot of people are talking about, and I think they may be right, that Sean Reck, you know, producer of Convicting a Murderer, basically used this as a way to create some publicity for, you know, his documentary. He's in post-production. He may be running low on money, you know, and this may have been something that he figured he could parlay, as they say, into, you know, something. So that's what some people are saying, and regardless, I think everybody should have known about this no matter what. But I think everybody should have known about it no matter what. But like other people are pointing out, it worked out in his favor, kind of, because him and his film crew get to look like the good guys who, you know, were handed something and immediately handed it over to where, you know, and they're, you know, they may be running into trouble. From what I understand, they're having trouble finding a platform that's willing to take their you know, documentary, and that's gonna be unfortunate if that happens, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like it, and they don't want to see it, and they don't want to hear it, but I do, and I think it's unfortunate if it gets blocked. If no platform picks it up. I just think that's, you know what? I mean, hey, why aren't we able to hear all opinions about it? You know, why are we censoring anybody's opinions? Right? I wouldn't like it if somebody was censoring mine. You know? Which YouTube kind of does. I mean, they demonetized my premiere yesterday. They demonetized, well, they flagged it and whatever. It had 3,000 views before they corrected it. I was just like, yeah, that's fun. Anyway. So, there's a lot of censoring, a lot of ways of censoring that's going on out there, and or ways of slowing people down and that. So he may be encountering some problems out there, but I don't think he should be censored. I hope there is a platform that picks it up, because I'm very interested to see what he comes up with, and I'm very interested in shooting down anything in it that's BS. You know? But all right, so back to this guy. Jen Underwood, that's funny. Yeah, you're gonna stop drinking brandy while popping pills. Yeah, it's a combo. Yeah, zero credibility, pretty much. Yeah, that's why I'm not paying attention to it anymore. You might look a patron. Oh, I see. I do have Patreon, actually. I think the link, by the way, anybody who's interested in that, the link for my Patreon is in the description down below or whatever. Right, KZ rubbing a... That's the other thing. He talks about rubbing a Band-Aid on the hood latch. I mean, good try, dude. Good try for trying to explain, you know, DNA. Hey, Perps, what's up? I mean, that's a good attempt at trying to explain that DNA, but the problem is it was tested, and it was ruled out to be any of the 4 major bodily fluids. So it couldn't have come from a Band-Aid, right? You know, so... Who in their right mind would believe a lifer? I don't know. What if they had said that, Mandy? What if they had said that in the Central Park 5 case? What if they had taken that attitude then? And then Mateus Reyes, the East Side rapist who actually committed the crime, and they didn't take his confession seriously. What if, I mean, it's always best to check it out and vet it out and be sure. Didn't use Band-Aids but duct tape. No, he was using a Band-Aid that day. I do know that. Why would YouTube censor last night's premiere? They never provide a reason. Amy, I'm a dude who works on cars. I don't use Band-Aids. I also don't. And I nick my hands up and bang my hands up all the time in my job, but I just don't. I get the bleeding stopped, and then once it's kind of scabbed over, I just leave it like that because, I don't know. Band-Aids are a pain in the butt. Netflix should pick up on principle alone, then Erekose, sir. Do a multiple part rebuttal vids. Yeah. But Ray's story fit the facts. True. 85% of all the videos are limited monetized. That's what I mean. I mean, I get nailed constantly, and it sucks. And usually, if I challenge it, I win. Most of the time. But not always. Like recently. When I reported the video I did when I reported that Zellner was publicizing the $100,000 reward, that video, it was immediately dinged and set for limited ads or whatever. And then when I challenged it, it was manually confirmed. Somebody manually watched that video where I was just reporting what happened and decided to confirm that it wasn't suitable. I was just like, what? Anyways, so it's odd. It's extremely odd. You know, I don't know how Steven's parents are doing. They're doing fine, from all reports. I know they were doing great when we were there in June. But yeah, as far as I know, they are doing great. I know my friend Mark, whenever he's in Wisconsin, he goes and visits Papa Avery up in Crivets, basically. And he'll go up to Crivets to visit him, and Papa Avery likes to hang out up there because he has some critters and stuff up there he takes care of. So I'm looking to hopefully go next year when I go there. I want to go there for maybe a week, and that way Mark and I can go and visit with Pa for a day up in Crivets. So anyway, convicting a murderer is a money grab. Kratz working for YouTube. They're clicking the flag under your video to report it as bad. Oh, could be. Some hater is stalking you and flagging all your videos. Once a ton have been flagged, they automatically flag half of them by algorithm. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It don't hurt big channels, Laura. Dolores is good. Yeah, Dolores and Alan. Dolores and Alan are great. Dolores, I know, last year she was having, I believe, knee replacement and everything. But as far as I know, she's doing great. She's perfectly fine. She has a new puppy. I know it was we found out about that when we were getting there for rally that they were telling us, oh yeah, Mama's got a new puppy, and so because one of her puppies had passed, unfortunately, so there was a new puppy there and everything. It was funny, but no, as far as I know, she's great. Everybody's great. Had the same problem before, based on some political comments I made somewhere. The stalker started flagging my videos because of something I said, which was innocent. Yeah, Maybe something of it is. Maybe this guy has some connections with the state or some law enforcement officers. Maybe. Who knows? But like I said, Zellner is checking out some things. Remains to be seen what those things are. But she alluded to the fact that there were things that were clearly false and that there were things that were clearly being looked into. And she said that's the way a real investigation works. So that's what's happened. Don't know what it is she's actually looking into, though. Did everyone see KK tweet when the story first hit about the confession? The one where he said, this is news to me and he basically doesn't know yet. Notice he didn't call it bogus right off, right? They just want fake families on YouTube. That's funny. Notice, no, I know all the channels are getting hard. Any true crime. He has me blocked. The people that think Steven's guilty are flagging every one of your... Yeah, I get what you're saying, Joe. I get it. I get what you're saying. That's why, yeah. Yeah, occasionally, I know, but it's weird. Like, if I mention the word, if I mention AEDPA, or if I talk about it, if I make it a big part of a video, I almost always every single time get hit on it, and then when I challenge it, it gets confirmed by manual review. It's unreal. It's totally crazy. Steven's mom is flipping burgers. No. Mandy? No. So you think the confession is bogus? I think there's a good chance it's bogus. I think there may be some interesting aspects in it, and it would be interesting to see. It just would be interesting to see if this guy has any connections to the state. You know? Like, if, for instance, like I said earlier, if he was a CI, if he was a confidential informant prior to killing his wife, that would be, to me, that would be interesting. I think likes and comments do help. Obviously, if they see there's a buzz and and there's positivity, that I think the algorithm kind of takes that into account. I mean, it's weird. Sometimes I go 5 or 6 videos and I don't get flagged, and then suddenly the next 5 or 6 videos, they all get flagged. It's like weird. It's so hot and cold. It's hard to get any kind of rhyme or reason of how or why it's happening, because it all seems so random. I'm sorry, Shadow Weavers. I wasn't trying to crush your hope. It's like I said, I think there may be some interesting aspects to what this guy's saying that could maybe be helpful. Could maybe be. We'll have to see. But I don't know that I'm buying his story about how he killed Teresa. Having trouble with it. You know? Too bad this is total BS. Yeah. Case had stalled and it's frustrating. What would be his motivation for confessing this, though? Oh, thank you, Sharon. So, yeah, I mean, things like thumbs up do help. I know that back when Game of Thrones was ending, and all that, there's a guy, Perps. Perps did a video with him. His name is, he has a channel called Teflon TV, and he was like all Game of Thrones all the time. And he used to say in his videos, he would say at the beginning, hey everybody, look, we're back with Game of Thrones. Make sure you hit that like button, because if we get to 500 likes within 24 hours, it triggers some new YouTube algorithm. Like, it triggers something that then, like, makes YouTube, like, share your video even more, because it's trending or whatever. I guess if you can get 500 likes in an hour, 500 likes in 24 hours, then I guess that's how YouTube determines your video is trending, and then you get helped out by that algorithm, right? So I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting. So there are things like that, like things like likes and all that sort of stuff do help. So obviously, maybe sometimes the people flagging it are outweighing the likes, and maybe that's how sometimes that maybe that's why YouTube makes the decision. It's hard to say. It's like I said, it's so hard to say. It's hard to see any rhyme or reason to it. Hold on. Maybe the booze and pills kicked in and he got his story mixed up. Either that or he hallucinated some of it. Maybe something to that. I guess if the guy is a narcissist and taking credit for it helps to boost his own feelings of self-importance, sure. Have you noticed, Erekose, that you'll get comments on the same old video from different people right after each other? It's the algorithm sharing the video since somebody else watched it. Oh, okay. All right. No, likes. No, likes. To get 500 likes in 24 hours. I've never had a video get 500 likes. So, I think the most I've gotten is about 150 likes on a video. Thank you, Suzanne Bonneau. I'm seeing right 1, 3, 4 in chat. And only 8 likes. Only 8? Damn, that hurts. That's painful. Oh, you see 40? Okay, 40s. Now I feel. I was gonna be devastated at 8. I don't buy that because they don't care if you have likes or dislikes. It reads the same. Maybe you need to do your Fat B impression. Oh yeah, sure. There's nothing offensive about the way he talks. Trauma pains. Once had a video with 380 dislikes. Yeah, I think I may even know which video you're talking about. So, yeah, that's where we're at. You know, I mean, we'll obviously see what more comes of this. I doubt this guy's going to be able to collect the reward money. Well, like I said, he's already, so sacrificed his credibility at this point, it's beyond ridiculous, so. Yeah, basically YouTube, Purple's right, and it goes this way, and even Joe's classic video games you guys have been seeing there. The way to do it now is to just, kind of just forget about YouTube and trying to be a partner with YouTube. And that's why, there are now platforms like Patreon. So that people that like you can just, decide to give you a very small nominal amount per month. And they can just do that, and then that just comes to you. It doesn't matter if YouTube determines whether or not your video is ad friendly or not or whatever. The people that like you, support you and that sort of thing. So that's why platforms like that have been created. So I'm still looking into how to get my Patreon where I can set it where somebody can do like $1 or $2 a month, because I know everybody out there doesn't have a whole freaking buttload of money to throw around. So, I'm trying to figure out how to get that setting lower, but ultimately, it's platforms like that are going to kind of be the way that creators go, because YouTube is just jerking people around, and they don't even care. So, because they know they're the big dog, in the yard. So, anyway. Starting East Side versus West Side beef to boost ratings. Biggie Smalls and what? Tupac is the other dude you're referring to is Tupac? Is that? Oh wow. There are people that seen it at the dam on 147. That's how I know I'm doing something right, JB. It's not about necessarily selling myself short. It's just not here. Trudeau is taking off. 50 likes, yay! Yeah, 500 likes in a 24-hour period is probably considered a start of a viral video, something like that, or at least to be put on watch for that, because it's gotten that much attention. So yeah, that's certainly a possibility. Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes Ken Kratz just hypnotize me. Now we need a Ken Kratz meme with him having like hypno eyes. I enjoy being a Patreon, and I know all of it is helping Laura grow her channel. If your favorite creator gets Patreon, I recommend it. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you so much. You are very welcome, by the way. Let's see. That's funny, though, Andy F. Dude, we got to create a Kratz meme. And okay, yeah. Listen, if you can keep Mandy's attention, you got to be good. Just saying. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys, for some Dr. Pepper. Oh, that sounds good right about now. Oh, crud. I got to refill it. It's dry. Oh. Yes, and thank you so much, Jen. It was very kind of you. You guys remember the old 7-Up commercials? All right, anyway, they would pour 7-Up into a glass and you would like hear it. It was like part of the commercial. Anyway. And then some guy would pick it up and drink it and go, ah, you know, like really loud, like exclaimed. The tumbler you sent me, where is it? I don't know, but I use this one because this one that I bought at 7-Eleven actually works the best. I actually have this other one that the Wrecking Crew bought me. So this one here, the Wrecking Crew got me, but I was using it, but it actually doesn't really work very well, unfortunately. It actually doesn't really work very well. It actually, I mean, it may as well be like a regular cup, because if I put something cold in it, it gets warm maybe a tiny bit less slowly than it would in a regular cup, but for the most part, it gets warm pretty fast. And I've noticed that this 7-Eleven cup, the one I got, a 7-Eleven thermal cup, works the best. So it's just a matter of which one functioned the best. But I do have the coffee mug. It's a little dusty though. Oof. From JB. When I went to Utah, that's where JB and I met, and he gave me a little swag, army swag package. So here's the coffee cup that came with it. A Yeti. Denise Rainey. Okay, when we were at JB, when we were at Raleigh this year in June, Denise Rainey had driven there because she was a lot closer than I am. And she had one of those Yetis in the back of her car. Man, dude, that thing was amazing. I never had heard of a Yeti prior to that. And now that I've been made aware of that one by Denise, I've now noticed a few others out in the wider world. So, and yeah, they got quite a name for being able to keep things cold. I'm waiting for the Pepsi commercial. I haven't got the call yet. Kratz is saying Brendan will be getting out of prison soon. Well, like we did a video once where Tracy and I got on to talk about the email that he had sent Fallon back when Brendan was in federal court, where he was talking about Brendan deserved a lesser sentence and stuff. So I'm guessing this confession won't be mentioned in KZ October package. I'm guessing, yes, Jen, I'm guessing you're right on that. She probably will not be mentioning this. Unless something that she investigates from it ends up bearing fruit. If something in this gets investigated and bears fruit, maybe then. Maybe. Well, you can be there for this year for 2020, JB. That's what me and Brandon Maddox have been calling it. Focus 2020, right? For rally in 2020. So that's what we've been calling it. So just be Erekose. That is the best. No apologies needed for this Canadian. Right on, Mandy. Craig says Brendan confessed to him on the phone, as quoted in the GB Times. Oh yeah. Link, or it didn't happen. The French. Oh, yep. What's up, Jerome? For sure, it won't me in there. It is not in the record. He's adding 2 chapters to his book in paperback that deal with that. Lesser conviction, Yankee Doodle. If there is something that bears fruit, it will be a motion for remand. That's true. I thought that as I was saying it, but now that Travis confirmed it, it would be another thing she would have to remand to the circuit court. So it would have to be some pretty big fruit. It would have to be some amazing fruit, really, for that to happen. JB will be at the Freedom Rally. Can't post links here. Take a swig of reduction. There you go. Travis thinks it's BS. Yeah, pretty much. KZ will be interviewing Evans and asking about his involvement with the state. Count on it. Do you think it is designed to stall KZ? I don't think it will. I don't think she's barely noticing this thing. She's only noticing it enough to prevent everybody out there from going crazy about this, because she doesn't want everybody to go crazy over this, because she, I think, is aware that this is just going to be a sideshow. Oh, everybody wants to tell me to sip my Dr. Pepper now? Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, amazingly. With all those sweaty balls he eats, it's amazing. But, you know. Wrecking Crew hasn't seen this. I'm disappointed. You need to see what Reich is all about. No, Shweddy. Shweddy. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's a joke he started on My Lives last year. It's from a Saturday Night Live skit where they make these like Christmas treats, and they're called Shweddy balls, and it's SW or SHWEDDY Shweddy. Anyway. See you later, JB. Okay, buddy, we'll talk to you Saturday for sure. That's from South Park. Chef's chocolate salty balls? Yeah, that's South Park. All right. All right, so I think we've covered all this. I mean, yeah, this guy, this is, you know, everybody just realize this confession is weak. It's not, you know, I encourage everybody to watch. I posted the link to my video about when this guy claimed that Stephen confessed to him. I encourage people to watch that one and find out, because I read the letter in that one as well, and see how you can kind of see how this guy's wheels spin, and kind of come up with your own assessment of it, you know. But I am intrigued by a couple of things about this. One, that he seems to claim to have ties to the state. And number two, that he seems to have this continuing obsession with Avery Dassey. You know? So, those things I find interesting. But his story is crap. Whether or not he knows a law enforcement officer who knows what went down in this, and maybe they talked about it or something, I don't know. Like I said, he could have been a CI back before he killed his wife. I don't know. Obviously, the investigators will be looking into that sort of stuff. But definitely, that's what I would think. Oh, Purple's going live at 9, folks. So, go check her out after this. I'm about to wrap up here. Ken definitely has Shweddy balls. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Travis, when is Fenn and getting to do your your commercial for your Shweddy balls? Did that ever get worked out? Is Travis still with us? Oh, he was getting the link. There he is. So Travis, did you and Finn ever get together and do your commercial for your Shweddy balls? Oh, you're still working on it? Okay, interesting. All right. There's no such thing as Shweddy balls in DNA. There's no such thing as Shweddy balls DNA. All right. We've gotten way off course now, and we're just talking about nonsense. So, all right, guys. Thank you for being here. Oh, Travis can give me that link somewhere else. In fact, have you? Hey, Travis, why don't you post it in Messenger? He was getting the link, Erekose, while you were getting a drink. She wants a triple scale. Oh, she wants triple scale. Well, maybe when we start joking about it more, as you know, the holidays start to come around here, maybe she'll be more on board with it, and she'll knock it down to, you know, a lesser rate, a lesser scale. Do your link, Trav. You should be able to post a link now. Alright, I don't know if Travis is here anymore. I know you're about to go, but where do you get your Challenger Way sign, Erekose? It's a street sign. You have to be just in the right place at the right time to get it, basically. You can post it here now. Okay, but you can post it right here now. And I'm just waiting for him to post it so I can wrap up. Because it seems like some people are interested and they want to see his link. I did give Travis a wrench, Finn. Instead, he's typing me paragraphs instead of putting the link up. Oh, good grief. Alright, I'll just go to my email. It'll be faster. Alright, here's the link that Travis was going to post. It is to a USA Today article about the inmate that confessed to the killing at the center. You know, and it's about Sean Reck and stuff. So, there you go. That's the link. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. But that link will get you to what he was, you know. Oh, yep, now there's two of them. Alright, so. Alright, everybody. Be good. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. We'll see ya.